What's up, VC? Mike here. It's been a while, probably about a few months since I've made a video. I've been pretty hectically busy. We have a new kid who was born in August, Miles, and now with two children, life's been pretty insane. I've still been buying vinyl. I've still been very active on the Facebook page, but just haven't had time to make a video in a while. So I thought today, have the house to myself, working from home, listening to some good music, and I thought I'd make a quick video. Usually I make a recent uh, buy video, but there's been so many purchases in the last few months that I thought instead I would do a favorite duos album, two-piece ensembles. It's a quick pull from my shelf. There's probably more on there, but this is sort of what came to mind. So I'll just get right into it. First off, Pat Metheny and Charlie Hayden, Beyond the Missouri Sky. It's an oldie, I guess, or oldie, it's not at all an oldie compared to the rest, but 1996. I don't know what to say. Most people, when this came out, and when I speak to people about it, it's sort of an underrated album. I guess most people feel that the capability of what Charlie Hayden could do and Pat Metheny, and you put them together, and they just feel that the album is just underexplored musically, if that makes sense. But I like it. I think it's, Pat Metheny is hit or miss for me, and it's really nice to just hear a toned down, just very chilled out guitar playing, and Charlie Hayden, is a genius at anything that he does. So I like this a lot. I don't know, I like it. That's all I can say. Next is a very new purchase, and it's from one of VC's very own, Roger Coleman and Sam Bird. It's a live recording, 3-track, sadly too short of a recording, but it's pretty amazing. Great packaging too. Fantastic recording. Sam Bird was wonderful on drums, and Roger, man, you're the shit on this recording, man. Like the piano playing it's really good. It's it has its melodic tones. It's somewhat melodic, but then it's very percussive at the same time, and it's just amazing. One of the reasons I've always wanted to play piano, and I don't play piano, but one of the reasons I always wanted to play piano was to get to that point. I think that Roger hits in this recording, which is just letting yourself go and exploring the instrument fully. So pretty awesome. If you haven't got it yet, try to get your hands on it. Next is a masterpiece. John Coltrane, Rashid Ali, two of my favorite artists. John Coltrane, everyone knows, Rashid Ali on drums, and this is just it's called Interstellar Space. If you're not familiar with it, 4 tracks: Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. And this album is just insane. It's just so good. It's a monster recording. John Coltrane and Rashid are they're astonishing. It just really takes you to a whole other dimension. Somewhat of a polar opposite, Steve Tibbets and Mark Anderson. Northern Song on ECM. This has Steve Tibbets on guitars and Mark Anderson on percussion. Very laid back and very spatial music. There's a lot there's a lot going on when you listen to this, but it's also very soft. So I like when I listen to that, I like having headphones on to just sort of appreciate what's happening. But you know, really good recording. And I think this really, what I really like about it is when you have duets, it's sometimes one of the challenges, as you can imagine, would be creating a space, but not having it, you know, not having the music get lost or you know, make it boring. And I think this album really helps, really achieves that spatial quality that lets the music breathe, but at the same time still be enjoyable. Another masterpiece and a rarity, Nomo, Milford Graves, and Don Poland. This is recorded live at Harvard in 1960 something. I showed this in one of my other videos, and it's just, you know, two masters of their instruments doing their thing, like free jazz at its best for sure. Don Poland, one of my favorite pianists, and Milford Graves on drums, and they just really, it's sort of like Roger's album. It's just really melodic but chaotic at the same time. Really nice listen. Next up, Gato Barbieri and Dollar Brand. I like this album a lot because it's, you know, it's the era of Gato Barbieri that I really like, when he's, you know, before he gets to the Europa and I guess post 60s jazz, Latin stuff. He's just really, you know, screaming on his saxophone, and it's a really nice juxtaposition with Dollar Brand's piano playing, which is usually very soft and melodic. But something about this album, you know, the recording just, they both brought music to the recording, and the two of them together on this piece just really match their differences and make the music work well together. Next up, Antiquity, Jackie McLean and Michael Carvin. Jackie, of course, on alto sax, and he has some percussion. He does some flutes, voices, piano, a little bit of piano, tempo blocks, and then Michael Carvin on drums and other percussion instruments. Again, another amazing recording on Inner City Records, and some of it is just some of the music on this, it's kind of odd for me to listen to Jackie McLean on this recording, because it's not what you would typically expect from him, but it's quite beautiful. And some of the music, like the title track Antiquity, is a 4-track recording, a 4-piece recording, and it's quite haunting. It's beautiful. It really sucks you in. It's a really good piece of music. Antiquity. Next is a Anthony Braxton recording. This is actually trios and duets. But the reason I chose this is the duets part is with, of course, Anthony Braxton and Dave Holland. And I think the reason I chose this Anthony Braxton, because he has a ton of duet pieces, and it just really shows his masterful playing, and the fact that although his music can be somewhat chaotic and all over the place and free, the duets portion of this album is again with Dave Holland, and it's just 3 standards. This song is for you, Embraceable You, and you got to my head. So I think it's nice when you hear someone as exploratory as Anthony Braxton just come down and play standards and play them well. I think some of the misconception sometimes of free jazz players is it's just noise, right? And to some people, it just seems like um, you're just sort of playing uncontrollable um, music, and I guess some people think there's a lack of skill in free jazz because it just sounds like noise. But I think this is sort of a nice tie back to the fact that they're just as skilled and able as other. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't really make that doesn't really make sense. I guess I'm having a hard time explaining what I wanted to say, but basically, it's nice to hear him just play standards, which you don't hear that often. So that's it. That was a bit of a jumble of explanations, but I hope I didn't confuse the shit out of you. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and if you feel like